Okay, first let's take a peek to see if the front answers here on the front of the worksheet are what you got in your tutorial group. So check these answers as you go. Pause the video as needed. How'd you do on these? Okay, so assuming your group got all those answers okay, I want you to try the back. So pause the video here, try letter M, and then let's see how you did. Okay, so this one's a 45, 45, 90, as we see by what's marked in the picture. And they gave us the hypotenuse. They gave us the n root 2 side. They told us it was 14 root 2. So what's my leg? N is just 14. And that means A is 14, and this side is 14, and that side's 14 root 2. Put U for units. Okay, here we go. Next one's a 30, 60, 90. We were given the short leg of 9. How do I know it's the short leg? Because it's across from the 30-degree angle. It looks the shortest. So n root 3 is the rule. So I take the 9, and n root 3 becomes 9 root 3. And then the hypotenuse is double that n. So I take the 9 and I double it. I get 18u. Again, if you haven't tried any of these on your own, please pause the video, try the next one. Okay, let's see how you did. This one, you have the leg across from the 60, 30, 60, 90. So the long leg, the n root 3 is 6. It's one of those. So we have to solve backwards for n by dividing by root 3. But I can't leave root 3 in the denominator, so I rationalize that denominator. And I get 6 root 3 over 3, which works out to 2 root 3. All that work was for the n, and so now I double that for the hypotenuse. My 2n is going to be 4 root 3. How'd you do? All right, this last one's a 30, 60, 90, and they gave us the short leg as 5 root 2. So if I already have the 5 root 2, then the n root 2 is 5 root 2 root 2. Well, root 2 times root 2 is just root 4. Root 4 is just 2. Remember, a 2 comes out. So 5 times 2, you got it. It's just 10. And then my hypotenuse is double the short leg. So 10 root 2. Okay. That was the practice on the 30, 60, 90 triangles. Now on the next section, it says solve for x. But 2a and 2d, those are for Thursday. We're going to learn how to do inverse trig. So save those for later. Let's just do b and c regular trig. Okay. Standing at the 43 reference angle. I'm looking for the opposite, and they gave me an adjacent. Which trig function uses the O and the A? Remember that it's handy to write out the SOHCAHTOA when you're doing trig so you can see which one uses the O and the A. You got it. It's a TOA. So tangent of 43 degrees is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. All right, so let's go do that in our calculator. 15 times the tangent of 43. All right. 13.987 rounds to 13.99. And there's no feet or centimeters, so we're just going to say U for units. So were you able to find that this was a tangent function? Were you able to plug into the equation, set up the trig function, and then were you able to actually plug it into Desmos? At what point are you on these? Okay, next one, I'm looking for a hypotenuse. And if I'm standing at the 35, this 21 is the opposite side. Which trig function uses the O and the H? You got it. It's a sine function. So sine of 35 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, move that x up and divide by the sine. So this is the divide kind when you do your Desmos calculation. So 21 divided by the sine of 35. Oops. All right, I'm getting 36.61. And U for units. How'd you do? Okay, on this next one, it's simplifying radicals. So let's break down, the 8 and the 12. So 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. 12 is 3 times 4, which is 2 times 2. And then x in the first one and x to the third in the second one. See if you can see where all those came from. Now I'm hunting for pairs. Pair of 2, a 2 comes out. Pair of 2, a 2 comes out. Pair of x's, pair of x's. And whatever's left inside with no pair multiplies on the inside. So out front, 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared, root 6. How does that look? Next one, how do I break down root 200? 2 times 100 or 2 times 10 times 10. So pair of 10s, a 10 comes out. And then 8, 2 times 2 times 2, 2 comes out and a 2 stays in. So when you're adding and subtracting root 2's, those are like terms. So I have 10 root 2's and 2 root 2's. I have a total of 12 root 2's. The root 3, nothing can combine with at the end, so now it's done. How'd you do? All right, root 98 is 49 times 2, or 7 times 7 times 2. So a 7 comes out, root 2 left underneath. So that 7 comes out and it multiplies with the 4 that's already there. So all these steps give me a 28 root 2. Bring this guy all the way down. What is 28 plus 3? Final answer, 31 root 2. Do you see how those are like terms? The root 2's can be added together. All right, how'd you do on this? Hopefully you finish it in class and you have no at-home homework. Good job.